Hi, this is Chris, and this is the Budget Dungeon. Today, we're going to be making a paint caddy for Army Painter Paints. My wife on Valentine's Day got me this huge set of paints, over 124 paints, and I found myself needing a way to keep them safe from my 2-year-old and my cat. If you've ever had either one of these, then you know that paint bottles can be very tempting for them, and they can quickly end up everywhere. So, one of my favorite places to find things to make various stuff for this hobby on a budget is the dollar store. And even with the price now being $1.25, you still can't beat the deal and the cost efficiency of it. So, the last time I was in, I saw a bunch of these little garden kneeling pads, which I don't know how good it would work for that, but for our purpose, it actually works really well. So I got a few of these and some other stuff, and for less than $10, I was able to make a paint station to hold all of my paints. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this handle. We don't need that, but we do want to hold on to it because there is a future project where we are going to use those. So we're going to take a razor knife and we're going to go and we're going to cut down. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but the closer you can get it to that, the better off. So just a couple of cuts here. And I'm sure you can probably hear my 2-year-old in the background yelling for her daddy. Okay, so that's off of there. So we'll set that off to the side. A few other things you're going to need for this project besides a razor knife. You're going to need a marker. For Army Painter paints, and I believe Vallejo, you're going to need a 3/4 inch hole saw. And you're going to need a straight edge and a glue gun. And some extra glue sticks would probably be handy because you are going to use a lot of hot glue for this. So now I've cut that off. I've got this nice little board here. I'm going to start drawing my grid. The reason for the grid is because I wanted to have nice uniform rows and I want them to be offset. If you don't care about that, you can skip this step. So for me, what I did is, rather than trying to get an exact measurement, I just went the width of the yardstick. It works out pretty good. So we're going to go just a little bit below the curvy part of this board here. We're going to make our first line. Then the width of the yardstick, right below it. And we're going to move it down, and we are going to wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay, so now I've got my lines going across. I'm going to complete my grid by going down. Again, the width of the yardstick is ample if you're using Army Painter paints, or I believe Vallejo. Again, if you're using different size pots, paints, or canisters, you're going to need to play with it, take a couple measurements, and figure out how you need to alter this yourself. Alright, so now I've got my grid drawn. What we're going to do is I'm going to take my hole saw, and starting with this first square right here, I'm going to put a hole all the way across. And then on the alternating lines, I'm going to do a hole, and I'm going to do a hole inside the square in the middle. Now with the hole saw, you can, if you want to, use a drill with it. But this is a pretty light material, so I found that it actually worked pretty well doing it by hand. And as a side note, it stops me from getting overly excited because I'm using a drill and putting holes in the counter. So, we just push it down, Mama, give it a twist, Mama, and we punch it through. So now we've got a nice, perfectly sized hole. And just to show you, I will take one of my Army Painter paints, and I will stick it down in the hole, and there we go. It holds them perfectly. Okay, so, sorry for all the interruptions. It is bedtime for my daughter, and she's not getting her nightly routine, so she is a little fussy, as you can keep hearing in the video. But like I said, I took one of my Army Painter paints, I stick it down in here, and it holds it perfectly. The nice thing is earlier today when I set up my paints, I was able to give it the good old weight test and move it from where I set it up to where we're shooting this video, and it held up perfectly. So that gave me a little bit of confidence in doing this. So once I've got all my holes made in here, it'll actually look something like this. So now that I've got that done, what you will do is you will take these and you will line up the wavy parts with a little bit of an offset, kind of like that. Okay, try that again from over here. So it's going to be a little bit of an offset like that. If you don't want it offset like that, you can always square them off and make it more uniform. You will notice that this top edge right here is a little bit bigger than the curve. So if we come down to that top edge and get it lined up, we can see where we need to cut. So a little bit of a cut here. And it's not much that you're taking off of this. So we take that off of there. And we're able to get it to line up a lot better. So it gives us a nice clean, wavy seam. So what you want to do, take your hot glue, and you want to apply a very liberal amount of glue. I started by going on the inside. There. And then just take it and push it together. I'm going to grab another glue stick because that one is already almost gone. And with that together, we will come across the top. Make sure we get it in all these little crevices. The more you can get in there, the better it's going to hold. The nice thing about hot glue is it sets pretty quickly. And once this is set, we will flip it over and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so our glue is pretty much set on the top side there. So like I said, we will repeat this on the back side. And, of course I didn't put all the holes in the other part because this little 2-panel section is just to kind of show you how I made it. But you can make it as big as you need to. With the one that I made for my paints, if you take a look right through here, you can see that I made a couple of flat edges and lined it up so that I've got a nice uniform base. So we let that dry, and once that's dry, if you wanted to, you can throw some primer on it. If you do that, keep in mind this foam does suck up primer really, really bad. You can paint it, you can do whatever. I plan to use it just like this. It's not something that's going to be on display for everybody, and it's really there just to keep my paints child-proof and cat-proof. So it serves my purpose as is, but you can get as creative as you want to be. If you like this video and you want to see more, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. My next video will be how to make a paint tray, again using stuff from the dollar store, to give me a place to actually pour my paints into. And okay, so again with the fussy baby, I don't know how much of that you actually were able to hear, but the next project is going to be making a paint stand like this. Just to give you a little teaser on it, I will show you how to do that with our leftover pieces from our paint caddy, and how to do it in a way to where you can actually attach it to the paint station if you wanted to, or just have it organized. Again, this is Chris with the Budget Dungeon. Give this video a thumbs up, a like, a comment. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will keep doing more and more of these for you. Good luck and good gaming.